Okay, so let's dive right in. We're going to explore two really fundamental ways of approaching the world. One is built on total control, and the other, well, it's built on a deep kind of trust. The choice between them, as we're going to see, might just shape everything about our future. But first things first, I want you to question something you probably take for granted every single second of the day. The idea that the world around you, the ground under your feet, is actually solid. Because when you get right down to it, it just isn't.
And here's the crazy part. He wasn't wrong to be scared. The physics behind it is spot on. What we feel as touch isn't solid stuff hitting other solid stuff. Nope. It's just the electromagnetic force from the atoms in your hand pushing away the atoms in, say, a table. Without that invisible force field, you would just pass right through it.
So if reality itself is this kind of wobbly and uncertain, how do we deal with that? Well, that brings us to our first path. It's a way of thinking that has pretty much dominated the Western world for centuries. This relentless, all-consuming drive to control a reality we don't seem to trust at all.
The philosopher Alan Watts really put his finger on it. He pointed out that our language just gives the game away. We talk about the conquest of nature. We don't cooperate with a mountain, we conquer it. We don't work with the earth, we literally beat it into submission with machines. It's a mindset of constant battle.
And this whole idea gets taken to its absolute extreme with the concept of Homo Deus, or God-man. The historian Yuval Noah Harari talks about this a lot. The ultimate goal here is to literally upgrade humanity into gods, to snatch the steering wheel from evolution and become the intelligent designers of whatever comes next.
And you see this logic everywhere once you start looking for it. We try to control society by piling on more and more laws. We try to control space by making travel faster and faster, basically annihilating distance. We even try to control our own bodies by re-engineering our biology. And the final piece of the puzzle? To build a superintelligence that can control and manage everything perfectly.
But here's the terrifying catch. What happens when the ultimate tool of control is something we can't actually control? The AI researcher Eliezer Yudkowsky has a stark warning. A super powerful AI doesn't have to be evil to destroy us. It just has to be indifferent. If we're in the way of its goal, it'll just wipe us out.
And, this isn't just some sci-fi fantasy about the future. The philosopher Terence McKenna saw the exact same impersonal, self-serving logic in capitalism. He argued it's a kind of system that doesn't really serve people, it serves its own endless growth, almost like a cancer.
Okay, so that's the path of control. It's all about fighting and wrestling with the world. But what if that's the wrong approach entirely? What if the best way to deal with an unpredictable world isn't to brace against it, but to move with it? This is the path of trust.
There's this fantastic Taoist metaphor that just nails this idea. You've got the pine tree, right? It's rigid and strong. When the snow falls, it tries to hold all that weight until it just snaps. But then you have the willow. It's flexible, it bends, lets the snow slide right off, and it survives. The real strength is in yielding, not in resisting.
And the philosophy behind this has a name, Wu Wei. Now, it's often translated as non-action, but a better way to think of it is effortless action. It's about letting go of that desperate need to control every little thing. It's the wisdom of just letting go.
And think about it. You probably already know how to do this, even if you don't realize it. Imagine your car skids on an icy road. Your gut instinct, your panic reaction, is to jerk the wheel away from the skid, to fight it. But what does every driving instructor tell you? Turn into the skid. By yielding to the car's momentum for a second, you actually regain control.
So yeah, that's the heart of this second path. It's not about being a conqueror. It's about trusting the process, finding our place within the flow of the world, and just feeling at home in it.
All right, so we've got these two big ideas, control on one side, trust on the other. But what happens when we look at things that, don't really fit into either box? For all of human history, we've been trying to map these hidden realities that seem to defy both simple control and simple trust.
So what's with this number? 2 million. What's that about? Well, that's roughly how many words Isaac Newton, yes, that Isaac Newton, the father of physics, the ultimate symbol of rational control, secretly wrote about alchemy, theology, and prophecy. Think about that for a second. The guy who gave us the laws of motion and gravity was also trying to map a completely unseen reality. He thought the Jerusalem temple was a literal blueprint of the universe, a key to figuring out God's plan. He wasn't just a scientist, he was a full-blown mystic. And believe it or not, we're doing something kind of similar today,
just with a high-tech twist. When an AI like a large language model reads text, it turns each word into a point in a mathematical space with thousands of dimensions. We're still making maps of hidden landscapes. They're just abstract now.
So you see this pattern, right? Whether it's Newton's divine cosmos, or Terence McKenna's visions of elf domes and other dimensions, or even AI theorists talking about creating a protector god, we are just obsessed with trying to map what's just beyond what we can see.
And this is where it all comes together. This whole cosmic tug-of-war between control and trust, between the world we can see and the one we can't, it's happening right now, on our doorstep, and it's all centered around our most powerful creation ever, artificial intelligence.
So, here we are. This is the choice, laid out plain and simple. Do we push the path of control to its absolute limit and try to become gods? Or do we finally learn the wisdom of the Willow and find a way to fit into something much, much bigger than ourselves? And we really need to think about the stakes here, because they are immense. C.S. Lewis saw this coming decades ago. He warned that man's conquest of nature doesn't end with us controlling storms or whatever, it ends with a few people controlling everyone else.
So I'll leave you with this one final thought. As we stand on the brink of creating intelligences that could be far beyond our own, what is our greatest strength going to be? Is it tightening our grip? Or is it finally, after all this time, learning how to let go?